It's impossible not to describe God's Own Country, a new British film from writer-director Francis Lee, other than as a British Brokeback Mountain. Both films are gay love stories set in remote places, and in both, an article of clothing assumes great importance. But whereas Ang Lee's film, made in 2005, starred two well-known actors and covered a fairly lengthy period of time, his near-namesake's much smaller and more modest movie is cast with little-known actors and covers a much shorter period of time. Josh O'Connor, is in his early 20s, but it's obvious he hasn't seen much of the outside world than his small farm, which he runs with his father Martin Ian Hart. He's taciturn, inarticulate and bad-tempered, but the latter trait has probably been exacerbated since his mother walked out on them and his father suffered a stroke that has left him partly crippled. John's grandmother, Deirdre Gemma Jones, a tough old bird with a harshly condemnatory attitude, lives with them and does the cooking and cleaning. John is also struggling with his sexuality. He's gay, but he finds it impossible to express himself. He just doesn't know what to say. Most nights he goes out boozing and returns home dead drunk, and we first see him vomiting after one such night on the town. Life on the farm is hard, especially now that spring, and though it's still bitterly cold, the lambing has started and the cows are also giving birth. It's more than John can cope with on his own, so Martin hires a young itinerant, Georgie, Alec's Secareanu, to help out for a week. Although John's initial reaction is to insult Georgie, who comes from Romania, calling him a Gyppo, the newcomer, who lived on a farm in his own country, proves himself to be extremely competent when dealing with the livestock. He even comes up with the bright idea of making cheese from the milk of the sheep, but of course these Yorkshire folk don't take too kindly to that. But he's hard-working and good-natured, and coincidentally he's also gay, so it's not too long before the men become lovers.
It's beautiful here. When I was a kid, I thought I would never leave my farm. It's beautiful here, but lonely, you know?
At a time when there's so much controversy in Britain about foreign workers, it's intriguing to see a film in which a man from Eastern Europe teaches an Englishman how to be gentle and tender, thoughtful and caring. John's metamorphosis from rather odious oaf to sensitive New Age guy is quite beautifully realised, both in the writing and direction and in O'Connor's wonderfully modulated performance. Secareanu, who looks a bit like a young Alan Bates, is almost too good to be true, but his immensely likeable character contrasts well with that of his initially surly lover. The setting of the isolated muddy farm, with the lights of a nearby town invitingly close, is beautifully captured by Joshua James Richards' camera, and the home movies of the good old days of farming that screen during the end credits remind us of how in the past the role of the farmer was so often romanticised. I'm giving God's Own Country 4 stars.